Hello, Daylover.
And second opinion here.
Oh.
And, yep. We're back in our own countries, but we're still just as enthusiastic to react to stuff together. And there's a new MLP episode that fits the bill.
Every time.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
This is a health of information.
Oh.
I think if I get another pair of newbies.
Thank you so much, Sakura. I never would have.
Is she hanging by her tail?
Of course. I know where it grows.
Well, sturdying herself by it anyway. Why not just the... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, oh no, oh no! Oh, Sakura, are you alright?
No need to fret. I only got wet. At least now I can easily...
That's... Okay.
My little pony.
My little...
Why is it skipping for you?
Little, but I think we're good. Sorry for that.
Oh, technology, you never fail to disappoint me.
I hope it's better now.
And enable my wonderful online relationship, but still.
Isn't a good sign.
I can't believe
No.
our did
Definitely not.
back thinking it was
If your heart is playing the drums, yeah. And bubble stuff.
Huh.
We're looking
Yes.
for any color
Poison
other
joke
than
again.
red.
Phew.
Oh no.
It's just as I thought.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
afraid
yeah.
you have a very rare
I said that
disease
because the episode
called
is not going to go there.
swamp fever.
Swamp fever.
Spreading
I don't
flower.
think I like all of this.
Is there anything that can be done for such a terrible conundrum?
A cure has yet to be discovered. I'm sorry, Sakura.
Really?
It's a lot to take in.
Wow.
I'll leave you
Seriously?
two to discuss.
Last time...
Sakura, this is all my fault. If you hadn't been
Wow.
helping me get
They're
the
flipping the
crystals
script,
moss,
though.
I
Now the
wouldn't have
doctor
gotten
knows
swamp
things
fever.
Sakura
I'm
doesn't.
so
Well,
sorry.
yeah.
Fluttershy, you are not to blame.
She's
These
not
things
a
happen all
doctor
the
per
same.
se,
I
so...
refuse to
Yeah,
accept
Hasbro
that.
suddenly got
It has
worried
to be
about spreading
somebody
the,
who can help you.
yeah, don't go to a doctor
There's a
message.
healer of she can't just be a legend. I
Yeah,
think she's real.
they'd tell me that
If that's
story
who I need to cure you, then
just
I'm
to
going
say to
find
me,
her. And
hey, I
just
bet you
the
wish
pony
we
who
had
can
her
help.
on hand right now, don't you?
Yeah.
Twilight? Need a second opinion about that.
Ooh, second you're in the episode.
They're both
What?
delicious. But
They said they need a
Sakura's
second
swamp fever, there's
opinion
no cure and it's all
about
my
that.
fault. The only one who can cure is the mystical mask, and I need your help
Curse
to
you,
find it.
volume!
Did we check the unabridged versions?
Yes, and the books on rare diseases, the books on rare
Unabridged.
plants, and the entire section on
Books
bog
what?
habitation.
Well, we might have to look through every book in the entire library, but I know we'll figure it out.
Oh,
Twilight seemed disappointed to look through books.
Yeah, shit. I mean, that would,
Another
be a lot to
Have you
ask
found
from,
anything yet, Twilight? Twilight?
I think, most anybody.
but I
You're
still
going
think
to
we'd have
get
more
yourself
luck if we tried
sick
again in the
too.
morning. Just promise me you'll take a break soon.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's not going to.
Good night, Fluttershy.
I don't know. So, Fluttershy is Sakura's
9 by
closest
13
friend
inch
now.
Twilight!
What's all the commotion in here, ladies?
Sorry, but I figured out what the
What's up
mystical
with
mask
the
is.
sleeping eye
You
stuff?
did? All I had to do was cross-reference a book about
Both.
masks with another book on ancient equestrian healers, then use a third book to translate it all from Old Ponish, and there it was.
Now?
Of course.
Sakura's kind of fighting the clock here, Twilight.
Is coughing
Yeah.
But Fluttershy, you haven't slept, and that's a long journey.
But I don't think like
no use trying to talk me out of this. Twilight.
Fluttershy explained
We
it
got no time to waste.
Can we at
good
least
enough
grab
to
some
Twilight maybe. Maybe she
Packed
doesn't
cauliflower
know.
bites.
Aw, no sweet potato muffins?
I, ate them all.
Oh,
Actually,
spy.
really good.
Ooh.
That's it. We have to go now.
Lead the way, Fluttershy.
Yeah, she did not get any sleep, so...
Wondering why, though. They're treating this like the project, like Twilight's treating this like the project you do on the side, just to help a friend.
So, where do you think Meadowbrook lived? The tree is okay by me.
What about
The
knocking?
doorway is sealed up. We just have to dig our way in. Back up, Twilight. I don't want you to get hurt.
Or we could try the handle.
It really blends in with the bark.
Easy to miss.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, it was open.
Looks making my excited squeaking noise.
Oh, okay.
Y'all can stop screaming now. Didn't mean to scare you. I
This
do
the-
that a lot.
Scare ponies or rock creepily in the dark?
Well, both, I suppose. Name's Cattail.
This the
Pleased to meet you.
ponies from that Some Pony to Watch Over Me episode.
I ask,
I
are
have
you in
no
Meadowbrook's
idea. I
home?
don't think we've seen him
I take
before.
care of the place.
Like the hayseed
much of a
swamp. Was
cleaner.
that where up in
From
this
what
film
I
was
hear,
apple
my
pies?
kin wasn't either, so I doubt they'd mind a few cobwebs in our ancestral
I don't
home.
remember.
Hawken?
Because it's Twilight.
Of course.
Oh, well. Libraries come in all shapes and sizes.
This is good.
I don't understand why Twilight is so off with the books now. Or not. Now she seems fine by it.
And we can probably skip this one. Unless she found a cure when she was a fool.
I met a colt today. He pulled my mane, so I put a frog on his head. Also not helpful. But I do
Cute.
kind of want to see where it goes. Oh.
And
Oh.
I finally got it right.
Aw, cute.
Wildfire.
Oh, it's contagious.
I fear if we don't find a cure soon, every pony will be in grave danger.
Then Fluttershy might also be
With Mother sick,
infected, right?
I
And
didn't
Twilight
think
too.
I'd ever find a cure. But staring at those cursed flowers today, I saw something.
This is a pretty silly disease for an episode that's trying to play itself like some kind of medical thriller.
Immune to
Yeah.
swamp fever. Their honey could be the cure.
And they dramatically coughed up bubbles and took resolutely to bed, sneezing lightning.
Oh, bees. I hate bees.
Not my favorite either.
Oh. But these are amazing. Oh my god.
How?
Oh.
Today, I
Follow
cured
my
them
nose.
and the rest of the bayou. It was the greatest feeling I've ever experienced, and I promised to dedicate my life to curing ponies all over Equestria.
Aw.
She did just that.
So it was the
Right up
first
till she
cure she
disappeared
found,
without
but
a
nobody
trace.
So
knows.
all we have to do is find those aggressive flash bees
cure it.
and get them to give us their honey.
Yeah, good
Of
luck
course,
with that.
It doesn't say how she did that. Didn't you or
Actually,
Captain?
now it
What you
looks even
can't
more
risk is
like the
getting
plague
sick.
mask.
If you don't rest, your symptoms will only get worse.
Mm-hmm. You really should rest up before going up against
Yeah, and
those
Twilight
flash
usually.
Now she's in it to
They
save
have nasty
herself,
critters.
too.
Yeah, and Twilight
you don't
is
know this
like,
about me,
why
but
are
I
you
could've
asking
killed
if
this
it's
animal.
necessary
And
to put the mask
besides,
on when you can
Dogtail-
see it spreading
Cattail.
like that?
Zecora is counting on me. I have to help her, just like Meadowbrook helped her mother. Won't let it happen to another.
What?
Okay, Fluttershy.
Okay,
you
you're
can
overplaying
do
it
this.
now.
Yeah.
Mind over matter.
Wow, okay, really.
Stay.
The stare.
It's not working on them. Yeah, that was what I think.
You really are aggressive.
Yeah, I think this is where Twilight should have said, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm coming whether you want me to or not.
Yeah.
Clara, she's already turning
Mm.
into a tree?
Okay,
I thought we'd have more time.
Oh, so she's turning into a
You've
tree?
been asleep for 3 days.
because Fluttershy would
3
like to be a
days?
tree.
Yeah, but not
You were
like
asleep
this,
so
I
long
guess.
we were afraid you wouldn't be able to move when you woke up. But thankfully, you just wore yourself down.
Oh dear, we have to get back to the hive. I've wasted so much time.
So wait,
Now,
3
hang
days
on
and
there,
Twilight
Fluttershy.
didn't get
Those
any honey?
flash speed critters are tricky.
Yeah.
Cattail's right. I can't even use magic to calm them down. We'll have to find another way to get the honey.
We've tried everything from disguises to things I won't even speak of. Ugh.
I'm
He's
sorry,
been through a
Twilight
lot
has
these past 3
alicorn
days.
magic and she
Wait,
can't get honey from bees.
Disguises.
Yeah, that's a little...
Get a mask and disguise yourself with
That's it.
whatever.
There's no time to waste.
I mean, we didn't explicitly see that, I don't think.
Oh golly, I can't.
And I'm also
march.
like still... Twilight is not
Mind over matter.
worried at all, it seems.
Yeah.
Oh, they're cute now.
Don't mind me, I'm just a giant bee. Like, they can
It's
see
just-
close enough.
I think she just bossed the Game of Thrones theme song.
You endured.
Ew.
If not for you, I would not be cured.
Oh, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have been sick in the first place.
Regret is not what you should feel, because on this journey, you've learned a great deal.
That's true. I certainly learned that if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of any pony else. In fact, if I had rested, like Twilight suggested all along,
Yeah.
maybe I would have thought to use Meadowbrook's mask sooner.
Maybe.
Please tell me
Okay,
you found the cure.
you didn't have to practice that even one time.
Well, I like that the doctor got sick as well.
Well, he was a bit unconcerned towards the end there, so I guess he kind of deserved that, but I mean...
Yeah.
Okay, Fluttershy, from not practicing the moral even one time, and succeeding, learn the moral. The moral is, okay, sometimes you need to take care of yourself, you need to make sure you're okay before you do blind self-sacrifice. Fluttershy learned that lesson by totally throwing caution to the wind and throwing herself into the scenario multiple times, while Twilight passively said, you know, I could help, or I could do it instead a couple of times.
I also think like this is a little bit too much. It's putting it on a little bit too thick, I guess. Is the word, right?
Yeah, laying it on a little thick.
I
And I
like
mean,
I like the moral, and I also like that there is actually a disease that turns ponies into trees, ergo kills them.
Yeah, maybe, which, yeah, you... Well, I mean, trees are technically alive, but
Yeah,
it's,
but still, like, I don't... Yeah. And I know
It's not
that there's the
exactly-
joke with Fluttershy wants to be a tree, but I don't think, like, this is appropriate. I also like
mean,
the
like-
stages of this sickness. It's fun with the bubbles and electricity and stuff like that.
I mean, and kudos for deciding to do a plot with stakes. I mean, like,
Yeah.
sometimes that was, the appeal of episodes like, Stairmaster, for example. I mean, that's like, I guess that's not, like, a series great or anything like that, but, you know, it, kind of gained an edge from just a conflict that's, like, you know, surprisingly being confronted with, like, real-world stakes, you know, some, legitimately dangerous animal, and, like, having to step up to the plate and having to take responsibility for someone else. I mean, I like that this episode wasn't afraid to go there. I thought it was on the clunky side as far as
Yeah.
how it executed. Like, you know, one moment it's overplaying, Fluttershy totally throwing caution to the wind and ignoring the obvious moral here. But then, okay, like she doesn't have to practice it at all. Like she doesn't have to learn it to solve the problem. She just decides like, oh yeah, I guess that would have been better in hindsight. Like
I'm also like, yeah, and I really don't like that Twilight is not worried just one bit. It seems like in the start she's not interested in helping with the reading all of the books. And I'm like, you're the princess of friendship and you love reading books.
yeah,
Come
I mean, like
on,
Twilight.
what is happening? If it was my friend that had a deadly illness, or we don't know if it's deadly, but it turns you into a tree, I would have done the same thing as Fluttershy. Definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, Twilight, she does seem concerned and she is trying to help, but I mean, like, this is something that, yeah, Zecora's not going to recover from if it goes all the way. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, she won't be alive anymore if it happens. And Twilight's treating it like that errand she agreed to run in between her.
I also like after Fluttershy gets sick, the only thing Twilight is like, oh, hoof crossed that you get well. What about helping? Like, I don't know. If it was me, I would have been like devastated. If it was my friend was, I knew that it was not only like, I know that Zecora is not there. You know, she's not a main 6, right? But when Fluttershy got sick, I was like, okay, now Twilight is going to freak out just a little bit, because I know that I would, you know, have been like, this is a little bit too much, yeah.
I mean, like, that's the other thing. For as much as it overplays the obvious moral, if Twilight could have stood to go the other way a little bit, learn the opposite lesson, it's like, I mean, and it doesn't do that either. Like I said, it's just kind of clunky in that regard.
And then there's this new pony. I know that he's supposed to be descendant of Metalbrook, but I'm just like, he could also have been a little bit more interesting and useful. He's not useful at all. He's just like, here's the books, find out how it's done.
He does. Well, they could have had him play more of a guide, I guess. You know, he gives the history briefly.
If he knew, for example, that where the bees were or something in those lines, I think that it would have been a little bit more interesting. And also, if he knew about the masks beforehand, but he doesn't know anything. He's just there, and I'm like, it's so weird and odd. What is he doing out in that cottage all alone? And there's spindle webs, and like it seems no pony have lived there for years, and all of a sudden he's sitting there creepily in the dark. Yeah.
Okay, they said Hayseed Swamp. I want to look up what that is. Okay, yeah, I do believe it is the Cajun pony resort that Apple Bloom was delivering apple pies to back in Somebody to Touch Me.
That's a nice callback, yeah.
A little bit, and I mean,
I actually thought the first time we saw the flower it was the poison joke, but it was not.
Yeah, I mean, well, another place this episode deserves a couple of kudos, you know, reaching back into what we've seen to expand on it. You know, okay, they have poison joke. Why can't they have other similar dangerous plants, and or to the extent that poison joke is dangerous? But okay, so yeah, I mean, good effort there, and like this episode, it has the right idea. But I mean, actually, that's probably a good summary for this season in a nutshell. Like, right idea, at least in theory, maybe not at heart, but like, right idea, wrong execution.
Well, I don't think it can go for the whole season, but definitely for this episode. That's for sure. I'm thinking like giving it a C- or something in those lines.
Yeah, well, C minus for me is like what, Dragon Quest or like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like the crystalling, that two-parter that everybody considers really boring, like that. I mean, I would argue like that would deserve at least a C minus or so. And I'm not sure if this episode is it's like it might be better than that. I think like
Maybe I'm just a little bit, what is that, too picky, but I really feel like there was some
no, I mean
stuff that just made me, question a lot, especially Twilight. I think that she's actually, what is that, not in character for
yeah.
once.
Well, that like that was, and like I didn't even get to finish. I didn't even finish everything I was saying about her. Like, what was it? Yeah, Fluttershy. Well, I mean, I guess I didn't mention before, but yeah, like the whole Fluttershy really needs to learn this lesson that yeah, she should let Twilight help her. We've got a dying pony essentially, trying to race to find the cure for a dying pony, and Twilight, her best friend for life, or one of them, her reaction, I could help. Like, are you sure? I mean,
Yeah, I don't like that. Not at all.
it's like plain and simply getting the measuring the ingredients wrong. Like, okay, in that situation, no, Twilight's reaction should be a lot stronger. In okay, racing to find the cure, like yeah, Fluttershy, she's not even the most capable of doing it now. She's uber sick. Okay, but they amp it up to her being a blockhead about it. Like, no, I am the only one who should. And then it decides that it's earned this moral that didn't play in it or didn't help solve the problem at all. Like apparently Fluttershy was doing the right thing. Everything turned out exactly as she wanted.
Yeah, that's also why I'm giving it the bad grade. I don't think the moral and the story has any, stuff to each other.
No.
If it was something to learn to... Actually, if it was a lesson to Twilight, learn to be more, what is that? I don't know, aware. I don't know. But it seems like, yeah... It was a meaning for Fluttershy. I just think like it could have been handled a little better. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was nice. There was nice animation and everything, and it was nice to see Sakura again. But yeah, it's just like drag.
Actually, if you notice that this season is like a little bit of a Sakura comeback. It's trying to emphasize her as a part of things a little bit more again.
It has only been like these 2 last episodes, right? Or else she had been
but I don't think she
away from the episodes.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's not like a main cast character per se, but I mean, like, I think earlier on they made sure you knew that she was still hanging around as kind of like a special sort of a character in play, and someone who could do, I guess, unique things. And I don't know, like, did she show up at all in season 6?
I don't know. I can't remember. But what grade would you give it? I'm sorry for pressing.
Well, okay. Actually, one thing that occurred to me is, or a good comparison that occurred to me is Daring Done.
Yeah.
That was also an episode that had an idea that should have been pretty good, had a good idea for a story, and had good characters at work and everything. But I mean,
would rather see that than this again, actually.
I think I'd rather see this. Like, Daring Done was, the author is a, like, elementary school chapter book writer, the writer on that episode, and that's kind of what it played like, kind of spelling things out.
But at least it had, like, a connection to the moral. I don't think, like, this episode has that.
Well, did it, though, because, like, it was, okay, based on that flashback, we want the moral to be sometimes you have to have faith. So, okay, let's apply it to something where, okay, it worked in a scenario where it works because we say it does, jump off a or jump into a ditch and, yeah.
The best thing to teach children, again, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, there are scenarios where you just have to have faith, and I mean, and this episode did not display them. It's like basically what it taught. It told us that there are scenarios where you have to have faith, and then provided one that worked out for the main characters
but
that wouldn't work out for you.
Not to be rude or anything, but yeah, I think we should round it off, or how to say it.
Hey, give me a minute to second opinion here. See, like, they're both not very good morals, but yeah, the bottom line for me is that, okay, Daring Done was just sort of like diluted, spelled out. It was flavorless and a little bit tedious that way for, yeah, how much it's like spelling things out, watering it down. This, I mean, it's also tedious for how it misses the boat, but I mean, this isn't like watering down. This is trying to throw ingredients in there, and I mean, it messes a lot of them up, but I mean, I feel like, you know, at least we get some variety, some excitement, some, like, at least we get some flavor there, and I mean, granted, that's not to say much better, but I feel like I would take this over that. I feel like Daring Done, the more I think about it, the less I like it. I was thinking like, okay, whatever, C+ originally. Now I'm like, this doesn't deserve that. So,
yeah. But I'm like with this, like you are with Daring Done, I guess.
Yeah. So like Daring Done is like a C, or heck, maybe if you caught me on a bad day, a C-. This is, to me, is like a C or a C+.
Okay. And again, a C- for me, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And heck, maybe I'll watch it again and change my mind. I mean, I feel like I've been a little gentler on this season just because, like, it's middle road. I feel like I'm looking for strengths wherever I can find it. But as is, okay, this season 7 technically just broke season 1's record on my card. Longest run without any thumbs down.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, props to it there. So, yeah, season 7, I mean, granted, it's also got, I think, the least of my favorite episodes of any season, but hey, that's an achievement there. That's something. It's managing to at least stay competent, to at least keep trying and bring us something worthwhile every time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now, I'll stop rambling.
So, but I really think it was clever with the disease and stuff like that. And I'm sorry that I said 2 times it was reminding me of the plague, but the mask and the, you know, stuff that were going on, I was just like, yeah.
That might not be unwarranted. That might actually be kind of what they had in mind, like, at least along those lines. Yeah, it's spreading to everybody, and yeah, the dots and stuff, and yeah,
I don't like
even close family members.
Yeah, that's true. But before it gets too depressing, I'll sign out.
Yeah, so we'll just end on that depressing note.
Oh no. Oh, that's just great.
Okay.
Well, I really actually liked the bees. I thought they were amazing, these thunder bees. Even though I hate bees and wopses in real life, I rather would have a bee near me than a wops. But nevertheless, I really think like, and I could be wrong, but I think that she hummed the Game of Thrones theme song. I have to look that up after and be sure.
So, has its moments visually. It might even, yeah, have some good references here,
Yeah.
but
I was thinking about the fly. There is these flies that she has a dream. Who is it? The Apple Bloom at one point with her cutie marks.
right, the zap,
the
well,
sap.
you call them.
Yeah. Sap flies. I don't know.
Right.
I forgot what it was.
Lightning bugs.
Yeah, something.
There's gonna be a name for them. I could look them up.
I was thinking like this is the bees are a species of those kinda.
Well, those were
Maybe.
dreams. Technically, don't even know if they're real. But
yeah, but it seems like we are getting more. What is that? Animals and more. I like that we're getting more of Equestria in that way. But still,
Twitter
I
mites,
think,
they're called. Okay.
Twitter mites, yeah. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But at least these are not. Well, they did throw lightning at Fluttershy and made her red-nosed.
Yeah.
But I don't think like.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say now. The other thing, the reason why it's just not as much fun as it should be, the cure itself finding this, not only does it not really tie into the moral at all or to characters of Fluttershy and Twilight. Well, I mean, Fluttershy, sure, she's pressing on, but I mean, it doesn't use much of their nuances to solve this problem. It just like kind of overplays Fluttershy, and that's noteworthy the whole time. It also doesn't really present like this mystery as like anything that ties into what we already know, or even from itself like segues sort of cleverly from one step to another. Like it's more a MacGuffin chaser than it is mystery thriller or anything like that. It's
I do agree with you.
Wait,
yeah.
There's a medical pony, so go find her. Okay, well, Twilight has books, so hey, I stayed up long enough reading and I found it, so it says go here. All right, we go here, and this guy tells us
something with her translating it from old ponies to.
Yeah, I mean, granted, that's
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was like, okay, why Twilight couldn't find it right away? That was amusing, but we don't like see any of that play out. It doesn't play out like a mystery. It's just like, hey, the next day we're told that Fluttershy tried hard enough and figured something out. So
yeah, it could have been nice if there was a small translation or something in those lines. Yeah.
Like even when it has the opportunity to portray it as like cleverness and figuring out the mystery, it passes and just sort of says like, okay, so here's what point B says to do to lead us to point C, and and then like what this honey, it's like, okay, there were bees that we read a book, it said there were bees, we need to go find these bees there. Oh, look at that, they're over there. Like
yeah, it could have been a little harder, I guess, and the episode could have been like, instead of having this Metal Brook connection, then them finding via the translation in Old Pony-ish, they will find a map or something, or they will find out that where the bees are, and then they will find a small village with the masks. That would have been more interesting if they had like more story.
It's like mystery wise or obstacle wise, it's not a layered challenge. It's just kind of a like, hey, chase the carrot.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah. So weird. But
thinking back though, I think like what I've rated these like more recent episodes, I think I'm still fairly confident in my scoring mediocre episodes, so I'm gonna say that a C or a C plus is about what this thing deserves. That this is not
minus for me again.
So, okay.
I'll not budge.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
But that was all, I guess.
That's all I got.
Okay. Bye, all.
So long. We've had worse debuts, I'll say that at least.